Number rules the universe. This is what Pythagoras said. Everywhere we look, there are numbers which are related to what we do. If you are a student, it is the mark. If you are a sports person, it is the score. And if you are in business, the numbers of sales and the profit is the most important. It's the lifeline for the business. To see and to correct and control these numbers, an annual exercise is done which is known as a performance review or a performance appraisal of the organization and how you set the target or the projection for the next year and the action plan which you draw to achieve the same. This exercise is an annual thing which is to be done or being done by all organizations. Hi, my name is Samir Mehta. I'll share my experience with you how we used to do it.
For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Performance review. What is performance review? It's like a progress card or a mark sheet where every score has its own significance and reasons. Why performance review? It is to recognize and appreciate the good job done and repeat the same. It is also to focus the area which needs more attention and efforts. How it is done? It is a team performance and hence involve all the stakeholders. It's not only the marketing team who is responsible for this performance, and therefore one has to involve all the departments, be it production, be it purchase, be it finance, be it HR or whoever it is. Avoid the blame game. Instead, pat each other's back. It's like a SWOT analysis of the entire team, and hence one should attempt that with full honesty and frankness. The first thing which we are reviewing is going to be the performance versus the projection. The projection which has been done in the beginning of the year, that number is already there, and against that you have to put the performance which has been done. This is better done with a focus on quantity or the volume and not the value, as the value is likely to fluctuate due to various reasons. The first thing which is that the target which you have put, let's say about the quantity like 10,000 tons or whatever, against that what you have achieved 8,000 tons or whatever, and the percentage which you are putting for that. Similarly, for value, if it is 100 crore, against that you have achieved 85 crore, so 15% less or whatever. So this is what will give you the actual picture of the performance versus projection. The next thing which you review is the performance of the last 5 years. This has to be done both in quantity, that is in volume, and value terms. This will reflect the trend. You have to identify the reasons and the factors for the growth or the decline. And even if you are static, if the business has been stable, it is also to be analyzed that why you are not growing. Being static is also being vulnerable. Now we are analyzing the last 5 years performance in value term. Although our focus has been on volume, but eventually it is this the value which goes to the balance sheet. Positives are ignored and negatives are questioned. This is often found in such kind of exercise which is being done. One has to identify the factors which are controllable and which are not controllable. Unless this is done, an honest analysis cannot be achieved. The next thing which we analyze will be listing out our top 20 customers who are giving the best business. We have to list out each customer and mention the quantity which we have done against each one of them. As it is said, or a thumb rule of marketing, 20% of the customer gives you 80% of the business. So strengthening these customers is going to give you a better result. It is better to focus on them. Again, focus on volume only. Strengthening the strength will be better than otherwise. Now, the next is what we have to analyze is the customer where our business has increased this year compared to what it was last year. They are named as major gainers. We will have to see that how and why we have increased our business with these companies. We will have to capitalize on that as they are going to be your growth engines. We will have to continue, increase and improve our efforts to do business with these customers. As it is said that the success is like a beautiful girl. You will have to hold it tight, otherwise it will leave us. So these customers are like success stories. We will have to hold them tight so that they don't leave you. The next which we are going to check or analyze is the new accounts or the revived customer which we have done during the year. With the marketing effort which you have done, there are some new customers which you have developed during the year. As the business has just begun with these customers, the growth is quite large in this particular customer. So one has to focus on it. Then there are some customers which have been revived. You might have lost the business with them for last couple of years, which you have now revived with whatever reasons and whatever effort which you have done. If the business has been revived with these customers, the focus will have to be on these new customers and revived customer, as it promises growth, and therefore it is necessary to identify them and make more efforts with them. Now, we are identifying the losers. Here, what it is meant is that during this year, you have done less business with this particular customer than what you did last year. You will have to identify the reasons that why it has happened, how it has happened. You will have to improve your product or your service wherever it is possible to see that you can regain the business with this particular customer. In case if the reasons are not within your control, it is better that you move upon with this customer. You have to move on. You have to accept that loss of customer if the reasons are not in your control. Now we have to look at the payment terms. Payment terms are different with different customers. It can be advance, it can be CAD, it can be LC, or it can be on DA terms. Now, against each customer, you will have to mention that what kind of payment terms you are having and the value involved in that. This will reflect and it will indicate how much secured business you are doing. The more secured business you have, better it is. Your risk taking capacity can increase, and the lower or the minimal bad debts or the write off can give you a much better cushion in the business. The next thing which you need to analyze is the credit terms. There are different credit terms with different customer. It may start from CAD to 180 days, and the payment terms may be also involved like LC or open account. So you will have to check how much volume of business you do within 90 days and how much business you do above 90 days, as it is the financial cycle which is moving in the whole year. If the financial cycle is completed at least 3 cycles, it is good. If it is less than 2, it is bad. So credit terms have to be controlled considering the financial cycle which you need to be done. Now, we will have to look at the operational cost or the logistic cost which is involved in your export. You should try to analyze the logistic cost for each customer for each destination and compare the cost incurred this year with what has happened in the last year. Try to save on this cost as it may give you some cushion. But one has to be very careful on this. By trying to save the cost, you may get a vendor or a service provider who will give you a lower rates. But if your shipment is delayed due to any inefficient services of the service provider by 15 days, you will lose that customer forever. So ensure that you get a good service and then only try to save the cost. Otherwise, it is like penny saved, pound foolish. Without compromising on the service, if you can save the cost, better do that. Celebrate the success. It is very important to celebrate the success on every occasion. When you have reviewed the performance of the whole year, and if you have done well, it is better that you celebrate this success. Even a small success or a monthly target, if it is achieved, it is better that it is celebrated. If a major problem is solved, you must celebrate. Do this before you set the target for the next year. Now, we are going to talk about the projection and the action plan. As it is said, if you can see the future, then only you can build on that. Having reviewed the performance of this year, now it's the time to set the target and the projection for the next year. It is always better to set a reasonable, achievable, but a challenging target. The projection for the next year, like 23-24, it will be again going on quantity base, that what you have done in 23-24 customer wise, you will have to do it, and the quantity and the value both, which will also reflect the growth for the next year which we are planning to achieve. The next is that you will have to do a projection product wise or product category wise, so that if there are A, B, C, D product, you are going to put a projection for each of the product or product group. Again, it will be based on quantity as well as on value. Now, again, we are going to talk about the major customer. As we have seen, the 20% customer give you 80% of the business. So those 20 customer which you have identified, you will have to give a target for those customers, what you have done last year and what you are going to do next year, and anticipate or identify the growth for each customer you are going to achieve in this year. Now, we are talking about the action plan. Here, the action plan will be different for each individual or for each departmental head. If we are talking about the marketing head, then he will have to identify the ideal customer and focus on them based on the performance. There can be assignment of the marketing territories or the product segment. Put the required resources in place. Identify the pain points for each customer and each product and resolve the same in a particular time frame, because this is very important to add to your business. You have to set a target to add new customers. Decide that, okay, we are going to add at least 5 to 10 customers in this year. The beginning may be for a very small, but a new customer addition will always give a new opportunity to grow the business. If there is a necessary to customize a product or a service for a major customer, please do that, as it will add value to the business which that customer is doing with you. Plan your marketing tool, participation in exhibitions, and doing publicity, etc., so that it can increase your business. Periodical review are the essential thing in any action plan. So do a monthly or a quarterly review. It may be in a smaller group or in a bigger group. Invite suggestion from all stakeholders, because team involvement is a must. And lastly, start with a positive mind and a confidence, and the success is ensured to you.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.